Let's get down into the nitty gritty systems with 5 ways to systemize your business in today's episode. But before we jump into systems, what are systems? Systems are just simply organized processes. Think step by step for how your business operates. And these can be performed by human beings like you or your team, or they can be automated. And automations, I just want to say, side note, like automations are a type of system, but not all systems have to be or even should be automated. And so I think a lot of times people think systems, automations, yes, technically they do work hand in hand, but not all systems are automations or should be automated. Now the question is, great, I know what systems are, but why systemize? Why should I have systems in my business? So, if you're repeating the same tasks over and over again and it's not efficient, or if you're struggling to work less, if you are looking to outsource, but you don't really know how or where to start, then you need systems. Without systems, you will not be able to scale your business without burning out or without being stressed 24/7. Systemizing your business leads you to efficiency, and efficiency means that you get more done in less time, which is like, ah, that's everyone's goal, right? And also, it reduces the amount of mistakes that are made with tasks too, between you as well as people that you hire onto your team, because there's this step by step process that's organized, right? Here are five. I'm going to go through 5 different systems that I recommend having in your business. And this isn't an all inclusive list for systems. There are so many systems that you can implement, but I feel like these are the big ones to focus on, in my opinion. Number one, in terms of systems to set up in your business, would be to create SOPs. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. And this is a new term for, well, I guess not like super new. I learned about this in like January of this year, whether I live under a rock or I don't know. So, that's another story for another day. But I just learned about SOPs at the beginning of this year, and really truly, they are actually life changing, not just for me, but also for my team. And I recommend creating SOPs for things like failed payments, handling hard customers, navigating refund requests, and also in general, it just reduces the amount of mistakes. And so, what is an SOP ultimately? It's a standard operating procedure. That is actually what it is. But like in simple 2-year-old terms, okay, maybe not 2-year-old, second grade terms, what does that actually mean? It's a step by step that is actually written out into a document that it can either be like copy and pasted, but it's a place to go to so that when these different, like, almost it doesn't always have to be hard things, but oftentimes that's what most people are referring to when they say SOPs. So, like the failed payments, handling hard customers, navigating refunds. Like when those situations come up, it's very easy for your emotions to also come up with it. And so having SOPs, which again, it's just this step by step written out into a document of, okay, if so and so requests for a refund, then what happens? And then after that, what happens? And then if they say this, then like how do I respond to that? That is what an SOP is. And again, it's written out in a document that you and your team have access to so that it reduces the amount of mistakes, it reduces the emotional response that often, again, it's totally normal that I'm exactly the same way. And that's why I love SOPs, because when I get failed payments, it's like, oh my gosh, not again. Or, oh my gosh, are these people actually going to pay or not? I have a system put in place where like my emotions are not going to get all tangled up in how I go about handling these different situations. And again, it doesn't always have to be the bad stuff. SOPs can also be for even just like someone who has a question about your membership or they have some sort of tech issue. It's like, how do I go about handling that and navigating that? And what message do I send them? Are there certain links and resources that I can send them? Having that all put into one place, that is an SOP. All right. Number 2 in terms of systems is CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. And this is like an umbrella term because there's a lot of things that fit underneath customer relationship management. But this is especially important if you're working one-on-one with your customers or like in a smaller group type of setting, because it's going to really allow you to streamline the entire process of working with them from start to finish, including collecting payments, signing contracts, like check-in emails, allowing them to like book calls with you or like book, I don't know, different things depending on whatever it is that your service is. And again, like underneath the umbrella of customer relationship management, it's like a subcategory with systemizing, which is like calendar booking and management. So using something like Calendly to systemize bookings for it doesn't always just have to be for like your clients too. If you're doing like guest speaking opportunities where you're like bringing different guests into your offers, or if you're doing like podcast interviews. So if you have a podcast and you're bringing on guests, like having a system for booking these different people is so important. So that way it's not like someone reaches out to you or you reach out to them. Let's just say you pitch them to be a guest on your podcast and you're like, hey, I'd love for you to be a guest. Reach out to me with XYZ dates that you're available. And then they come back to you and they're like, hey, here are some dates that are available. And then you're like, actually, I'm not available. Are there any other dates that you're available? And then they're like, oh, here's some other dates. And you're like, and you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, right? It's taking up so much time. And so systemizing the way that you go about booking these different things, whether that be your one-on-one calls, discovery calls, podcast interviews, again, there's a bunch of different things that fit underneath that. But that is customer relationship management. And I will say, if you are someone who's doing a done for you service, this is especially important. And usually, if you have a done for you service, you will be using some sort of CRM platform. And usually, those systems would be like Dubsado or Honeybooks. Those are the two most popular ones. There are other ones out there, but those are the two most popular ones, at least with my clients and the ones that I've seen used the most, like the independent contractors that I have hired. Those are the two platforms that they are on. Again, it's just a way to systemize or organize a step-by-step process, right? It's a way to systemize a bunch of different aspects of your business. Again, a CRM, it's this umbrella term of a lot of different things of signing contracts, collecting payments, invoices, checking emails, booking people, all sorts of different things. And that can all be done through a platform like Dubsado or Honeybooks, or there are other CRM platforms out there too. All right, number 3 in terms of systemizing is email marketing. So setting up an email sequence that is connected to a freebie opt-in form. So this is a really great way to automate. Again, this would be something that is a lot more automated. The last one that I was just talking about was a CRM. That's also something that can be automated too. SOPs can be automated. There are different aspects of it that can be automated, but I would say for the most part, usually with SOPs, there is some sort of human interaction, and usually that's something that I would recommend hiring out to someone else. And that's another reason why SOPs are so important and so valuable to you as a business owner, is because if you are hiring someone and you have these SOPs set in place, again, it's these different documents for how to navigate different situations. So instead of this person that you just hired coming back to you saying, what do I say to this person? Or how do I navigate this? It's like, here, you have these SOPs that you can go through. And again, it's going to minimize the amount of mistakes. So SOPs some of it can be automated. I would say most of it, though, is going to be a human being that's actually interacting. CRM, most of that's going to be automated. Email marketing, different aspects of email marketing. The specific aspect that I'm talking about where there's a freebie that's connected to an email sequence, that can be automated. And this is an automated way to provide value and warm up your leads and also sell your offers. And I would say that you can semi-automate your weekly newsletters by scheduling them after you batch them out. But in order to write the email, either you or someone on your team, a person is actually having to write those. And then once you schedule those out in advance, that's like a semi-automated way, I guess you could say. But again, there's still a person that's needed to be involved in that. Number 4 is communication/customer support. So I recommend keeping all of your communication, if possible, with your clients in one place. So that way you're not in 50 places. You're not on Facebook and Slack and Telegram and Voxer and text message and email. That's like a little excessive. That was a little excessive in terms of examples. But truly, sometimes I will work with my clients and I'm like, hey, like, how do you communicate? And they're like, oh, some of my clients I communicate via email, and then some of my clients I communicate via this platform, and I'm like, well, you're all over the place. Like, how are you supposed to know, like, where these messages are coming from? And what if you forget to check one of the platforms one day, and then your client has messaged you? And so keeping it, if possible, in as little places as possible. So I recommend email And then, of course, if you have one messaging app, like there's a lot of people who use Slack. I personally use Voxer. Ultimately, you just got to find what works best for you. Either of those are great. Honestly, Telegram is also great. Or if you're like, hey, I communicate via Facebook, again, that's great too. Just like keeping it to as little places as possible. And in terms of automations for communication and customer support, you can actually have AI set up to help with customer support, which is really awesome. So if you have certain repetitive emails that keep coming in terms of like customer support where people are asking questions, you can have AI set up to actually respond to those, which is really awesome. Or you could have a person hiring someone else out, delegating that task out to help with customer support. So a bunch of different things you can do there, but systemizing the way that you communicate with your customers and clients, and then also systemizing the way that you do customer support. So in my opinion, part of this would tie back into SOPs because a lot of customer support is handling like the questions. And how do you handle the questions? You need to have an SOP set in place so that you and or the person on your team that is handling customer support knows how to do that. And so it's going to simplify and make things a lot more efficient because oftentimes it's going to be like a copy and pasted message with like minimum changes to it that's happening with the customer support aspect. And then number 5, and lastly, in terms of different places to systemize in your business, is project management, or you can consider this like task management. This is so important so that you don't start each day asking, what should I do today? And also so that you don't skip over important things that are supposed to get done, but you just forgot to get them done. And so, in terms of what does this look like, usually you're going to utilize a platform where tasks are managed, like ClickUp or Asana or Trello. I know a lot of people also who use like Google Calendar for a lot of their tasks. I don't use Google Calendar a lot for my tasks. I use it for mainly just like scheduling systemization, but you could also do that too. Again, it's just finding whatever works best for you. And then you have to figure out, so once you have the platform, then it's like, what is your process for going through these tasks from like the initial idea to the actual execution of the task? So for example, if you are having to edit a podcast, what is the process that you need to go through to get that podcast live? So what would that look like? You're going to have to outline, you're going to have to record, you're going to have to edit, then you're going to have to, post that podcast live. Actually, before that, you're probably going to have to write out the show notes. Like, what does that look like? So you can actually implement a system for your tasks. And you can do this for content creation. You can do this for emails. You can do this for pitching brands. You can do this for offer creation. You can do this for basically, again, any task in your business. You can create these different systems. And so that way you don't lose track of different tasks that are supposed to be happening. And you're very clear, hey, I wake up today, this is what I need to do, because you have a task management system put into place. All right. The last thing that I had to share about systems is that this is the non-glamorous work that most business owners don't want to do because it takes time and effort and it's boring sometimes, truthfully. But the truth is, it's vital for scaling and being able to hire and not burn yourself out. Because again, if you are asking yourself, you're thinking, like, how can I work less and make more money? Systems, automating the things that you can automate, delegating the different aspects that you can delegate. But in order to automate, in order to delegate, you have to have systems in place first. You have to know the step by step. You have to have things organized, or else things are going to be a complete mess for you. So now that I've given you these 5 different things, and let me recap super quick on these 5 different things. So number 1, setting up SOPs. Number 2, CRM. Number 3, email marketing. Number 4, communication and customer support. And number 5, project or task management, whatever you want to call it. Out of these 5 different things, what I want you to do, my challenge for you, is to take one of these systems and implement it into your business this week. Get your ducks in a row. If you're like, oh my gosh, I need a task management system, I'm all over the place, I have tasks over here and over here, over here, like, great. Run with it. Get all of your ducks in a row. Just take one of these systems, run with it this week. Note, I said one, not all 5 of them. Bite-sized pieces. Let's do this one step at a time. And you could even do a whole 5 week. I mean, if we're talking like go above and beyond, like A+, 5-star in terms of your homework, I'm giving you that. I would be giving you an A+, 5-star. five, like those five, the golden stars that you got when you were a kid. I would put five of those on your paper if you do this. You could split this up in 5 different weeks. So week 1, you're going to run through SOPs. Week 2, CRM. Week 3, so on and so forth, right? That's if you want to go above and beyond, but I'm not saying implement all of this tomorrow or even today listening to this. That's way too much. A lot of these tasks in terms of systemizing these different things in your business are going to take you quite a bit of time. And again, it's the unglamorous work. So spread it out over a few days. Say, hey, I'm going to work on CRM this week and I'm going to spend, let's just say 10, 15 minutes a day working on different aspects of this, getting this set up. Or there are also a lot of different aspects that you can hire out to. Like I know people who will set up entire CRM platforms and systems, so you can hire out for that. I know that there are a lot of people who will go in and optimize your task management inside of something like ClickUp. So you can hire people for that. So if you're like, I want to hire someone instead of doing this myself, that's totally an option as well. But again, to recap, to end, to do all of the things, my challenge for you is to take one of these systems and work on it this week.